Hello Piedmont Youth Academy, this is Coach Matt here, and I just wanted to go over some of the rules for a 7-a-side game. I'm going to start with the very basics and move on to some of the more technical rules. Not all of them may be included in every game we play, but I want everyone to at least been exposed to the rules. So this is going to be the layout of our typical game. I'll use this soccer ball as a cursor. So this is our centre spot right here. This is where the ball is going to start at the beginning of the match, and this is where the ball is going to return to after a goal is scored. So to start the game off, the team that is starting with the ball can enter this centre circle here. The ball starts in the middle, and let's say yellow team starts with the ball. So that means red team must stay outside of that circle. So number 7 has to come outside, and number 4 can come to the edge if he so desires. For the yellow team, number 7 needs to make the first pass of the game, and that pass has to be forwards. So we need another player to come over and receive that pass. Once number 7 has touched the ball, they cannot touch the ball again until another player on yellow's team has touched it. So on the whistle, 7 can pass the ball forwards over the centre line to 6, and then 6 can pass it backwards or forwards after that. So you can pass it back to 7 or pass it to 5 or 4. Once that ball has been played forwards, red team is able to move in and the game can continue. So let's move on to out of bounds. Say that player 6 comes to the sideline here with the ball, and player 5 comes in and makes a tackle. That tackle kicks the ball out of bounds, and the ball completely crosses this sideline. That will be a throw-in to yellow team. Now the setup for a throw-in is that yellow team has to stay completely behind the line, and 2 feet must remain on the ground. The player picks up the ball with both hands, and draws the ball behind their head to throw forwards the ball into play. In doing so, the 2 feet of the player must remain on the ground. Let's say yellow 6 throws to yellow 7. Yellow 7 doesn't get control of the ball, and the ball falls back out of bounds. It is now red's turn to take a throw-in, and they have to do the same. Both feet on the ground, draw the ball behind their head with both hands, and throw forwards. The throw has to be done in an arc, and not straight down to the ground to a player's feet. So it's quite difficult to throw a ball to a player that is very close, let's say red number 2. So preferably player number 2 will back up a little bit so that ball can arc to them instead of going straight to the ground. If the ball is thrown straight to the ground, or if the player throwing the ball lifts a foot off the ground, this is what is known as a foul throw. And depending on the referee's choice, 5 red will get to rethrow, or the ball will be passed to the opposite team for their throw-in. So let's say number 5 made a successful and legal throw to number 2, and number 2 kicks the ball down the side of the field here and follows it through, kicks the ball again, but hits it too far, and it goes out of bounds, and number 2 can't catch up. This back line on both sides of the field, which parallels the goal line, will result now in a goal kick for yellow, because red kicked it out. So for the goal kick in 7-a-side, the ball can be placed at either corner of the 6-yard goal box or anywhere within this 6-yard goal box. For the goal kick, all players have to move behind what is known as the build-up line. These build-up lines will be marked either with paint on the field or by cones at each side of the field. So I'm going to draw those on for here now. These build-up lines are equidistant from the edge of the box here, the 18-yard box, and the edge of the centre line. So this distance and this distance will be equal for both halves of the field. So for the goal kick, all defending players, this is the case red, need to come behind this line. It is fair for the other team, yellow, to do the same, but not required. So the goalkeeper can pass the ball before that line to a player of their choosing, as long as they understand that the red can now come forward and attack the ball. This is quite a dangerous setup as it allows the opposing team to get very close to the goal. So preferably you wait for every player to be behind these build-out lines before the goalkeeper kicks the ball. Now for the goal kick, the ball can be placed on the floor and then kicked from the floor out to any player. Let's say the case is that instead of number 2 coming down the line and kicking the ball out too far here, he takes a shot but the goalkeeper is able to pick it up. So the same rule applies. For the goalkeeper to put the ball back in play, red team has to come back behind this line, the build-out line, and the goalkeeper can now play it to any one of his teammates. For 7-a-side, the goalkeeper is not allowed to punt or drop kick the ball. He can place the ball on the ground and play it with a pass like that, or he can throw the ball out to another player. So let's reverse the scenario again. Give the ball back to number 2 on red. Put the goalkeeper back in goal for yellow. And let's say number 2 took a shot and yellow goalkeeper blocked it but deflected it out of bounds behind his goal line. This will be what's known as a corner kick for red. So the ball comes to the corner of the field here. It comes to this side of the field because that is the side the goalkeeper knocked the ball out of bounds on. So if the ball starts in number 1 and deflects it this way, the ball comes to this corner. If the ball ended up deflecting over here, this side of the goal, the ball will come to this corner. Let's bring the ball back down here. Number 2 comes down for the corner kick. And all the players can come back to defend. And all of red players can come back to attack. On the ref's whistle, the ball can be kicked long into the box, or a player can come around short for a short pass. So now let's talk about fouls. So typically fouls occur from inappropriate tackles, going for body parts of the player instead of the ball in play. They can also occur from handballs. So let's say red 2 passed to red 6, and yellow 3 comes in and tackles number 6 quite hard from behind, missing the ball and hitting the player's legs instead. This would result in a foul and a free kick given to red. The free kick ball is placed where the foul occurred, and if it's red's free kick, all of yellow team must allow 8 yards around the ball for the red team to play. And seeing as this foul occurred outside of the 18-yard goal box, a free kick is awarded and not a penalty. If number 6 was fouled within the box, a penalty would be awarded to red. The setup for a penalty is that everyone except for the kicking player and the goalkeeper of the opposing team must leave the box. The ball gets placed on this spot here. And on the ref's whistle, red tries to score a goal. The goalkeeper, during this time, can only move lengthways along the goal line. He cannot step forwards until the ball has been kicked by red. He may come forwards after contact has been made. The players must remain outside of the box until contact with the ball has been made by red 6. So red 6 takes a shot and scores the goal. The ball gets returned to the centre spot on the field, and all red players return back to their half of the field, and we get to restart the game like we did at the beginning of the match. As I mentioned before about the goalkeeper not being allowed to punt or drop kick the ball after collecting it, if the goalkeeper does that, the foul is rewarded to the opposing team, and an indirect free kick occurs on the edge of the 18-yard box. So that would be here. And it would be closest to where the goalkeeper committed that foul. So if the goalkeeper comes out here and punts or drop kicks the ball, the indirect free kick will occur just on the edge of the box here. Now what I mean by an indirect free kick is that the ball cannot be shot on goal by the person taking the free kick. If you do want to take a shot on goal, another player has to touch the ball first. So 6 in this case, in an indirect free kick, red 6 could pass to red 7, then red 7 would be allowed to take a shot on goal. For a direct free kick, 6 can take the shot immediately on goal. Another rule that could result in an indirect free kick and a foul on the goalkeeper is known as the 6-second rule. This might not be heavily enforced for U10, but will be later on. 6-second rule allows the goalkeeper 6 seconds of time to make a decision of where he is going to kick that ball, and for allow other players to get in position, and particularly the opposing team to get behind the build-out line. If the goalkeeper takes too long to get the ball out into play, that will result in a foul and an indirect free kick again from outside the box, closest point to where the goalkeeper committed that foul. One final rule I would like to talk about is offside. Now the offside rule may and may not be played, but in the case that it is, it's important to understand. So in this case, yellow should be on the defence, and they have a defensive line here. Red 7 is going to have the ball, and I'm going to put red 6 on the edge of the box here. Now a pass from red 7 to red 6 would be considered offside. That is because the defensive line of yellow is going to be held along here, and 6 has passed that line when the ball was passed from 7. If 6 is behind this line at the moment of the pass from 7, 6 is considered onside. This offside line is always in line with the last defensive player. Red 6 would also be considered onside if the pass was initiated before 6 crossed that line, and 6 moved in front of that line while the pass was in progress. If 6 is caught offside, the foul is given to yellow, and they get a free kick from where the foul was committed. This will be typically pointed out by the referee. An important point about the build-out line and the offside rule is that the offside rule cannot be applied when the play is behind the build-out line. So let's say all the yellow players are pressing quite far up the field, and 7 passes to 6 again. 6 is behind that build-out line, so even though yellow number 2 is more upfield than 6, 6 was still within his build-out line. So that will be considered a onside play. It's important to note that offside can only occur within the attacking half of the field. And by that I mean on the left here for red that are going attacking left, and offside can occur for yellow on the right side of the field because they're attacking to the right. One final detail is that the offside rule does not apply for throw-ins or corner kicks. So hopefully now I've correctly gone over all of our 7-a-side rules that we'll be playing this weekend and hopefully for many weekends to come. Thank you for watching, and feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions.